And hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to the United Earth Angels series at Alpha E-Mind Mastery, empowering emotional mastery. We want to welcome you all and thank you primarily for your time and your energy because that's the biggest way that you're paying forward today. So we want to thank you for being here. I have a special shout out. First of all, this is episode 3, and we have a guest here with us today. So I'm really proud of that. It's Anka Khan. You'll get a chance to hear everything she has to say in a quick moment. But I can't help but thank Montreal's newest radio station. Easy listening all day long. Has me bopping, running throughout town all day. Okay, you guys can see from the reels. Easy listening, great lineup. CFQR 600 AM. It's a new station. Guys, during the week, Monday to Friday, 9 to 11, Soca Sound. Get your groove on. Okay, on to other things. Now, guys, if you haven't already, please go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's a one-stop shopping for all of the videos that you need. You want to know who I am, all I got to offer? Well, there's a bank of knowledge sitting there for you accessible. So please go ahead and go grab the knowledge while it's easily accessible to you all. So tonight we want to talk about anxiety with you all because it's real and it's happening amongst a lot of people today in the world. Why? Because we are witnessing the greatest show on earth, the greatest shift in human consciousness ever known since the beginning of creation. So this is a big deal. And yes, a lot of people have been fearful, and that's what creates anxiety. So there's one thing I'd like to show you here to open up tonight's episode for you, because I'd like you to understand that anxiety is not the problem in it all. Anxiety is an effect of a cause. So what's that cause of anxiety? Fear. And I'd like you guys to take a look at that screen tonight and understand that fear is nothing but the anticipation of pain, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional. And that is your cause of the effect of anxiety. So I'm going to hand the floor over to Andi, and I'm going to let her take it from here so she can introduce our wonderful guest. And we're going to fly open with this episode tonight. So I'm really grateful that you guys are all with us.
Hello, hello. I'm Andi, as Toby said. And tonight, yes, we're going to tackle anxiety. And Miss Anka has some great tips and great coping skills to handle anxiety. So I think I'm going to let her start it off because I've dealt with it myself also, but I'm going to let her go first because she's our special guest, and we'll just go from there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's awesome to be here. I I didn't I didn't realize how much one could learn in such a short amount of time until I met Toby. So I'm honored. I'm honored to be here, and I think we're going to have some good conversations. So, just a little bit about me. My name is Anka, and I am a conundrum wrapped in an enigma. So there's a lot to say, but we're going to focus on the goal here, which is to talk about anxiety, right? So as far as I go, if you want to know me, then I suggest you head over to TikTok and you get yourself a drink of water. But I don't suggest you drink while you watch my TikToks because you might swallow the water the wrong way. So we don't want anybody choking. So yeah, that's I am a unique individual, but I believe powerfully and passionately in the good in the world. I believe that every single human has a flame in them. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what your excuse is. If you give me 15 minutes, I can probably tell you what yours is, because that's my heart. So anxiety. So here's the fun part about this topic is I've been working on my personal reframing hardcore because Toby doesn't give me much choice. But personally working on my reframing. And so to come and talk about something like anxiety, which the words that I have used in the past have not been empowering to me, is definitely a challenge, because I know that I'm going to be speaking from experience, but I'm going to be speaking from experience and having to watch every word. Not because Tobi's watching. Oh, no, 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 no. But because I know who I am, and I'm no longer willing to waste my time or my power or my sparkle on things that do not bring good in this world. And anxiety and fear does not bring good. None. So that's me. And back to you, Andy. I guess, I mean, I can go deeper if you want to ask questions. I'm here. I got a lot in here. And if I start talking, I'll talk the entire hour. So that we don't do that. Conversation flowing.
Right. Okay, Anka, from my experience, most of my anxiety was caused by my second ex-husband. It was PTSD / anxiety.
I mean, I can see that trauma can definitely trigger that bad big time. I watched a YouTube video about 4 or 5 years ago. And at this point I was still married. And the constant change in my reality is a very big part of what triggered my massive anxiety meltdowns. But I saw a YouTube video, and I'll go look for it and share it. But I saw a YouTube video, and it was a monk, and he said that he became friends with his anxiety. And something inside me went, "Excuse me, what? You did what?" And I watched this video quite a few times. I don't think I was even pregnant with my youngest at the time. I think I just had my second. So it was right around 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And this really started my journey with anxiety, not as a battle to be constantly fought, but as something to be understood. And I did not do I learned a lot of lessons very early on. Better, Toby? And so, I was 16 when I was hospitalized with a stomach ulcer because of anxiety. Because I grew up being the third parent in the household, and I took on way more responsibility than I should have. My parents were amazing. They are amazing people. My personality type is that of, if there is responsibility to be taken and nobody's taking it, boy, gosh, golly, I will. And that added so much pressure on me, so much unhealthy, unnecessary pressure, because if your emotions are my responsibility and I am an empath who was not empowered at the time, I almost put myself in the psych ward more than once. And recognizing that it is something to be understood really led me to that quote that Tobi put up, that it's all fear-based. And so anxiety internally, to me personally, feels it feels like my insides are crawling, like something inside is trying to get out. And before I knew anything about anything, I mean, now I know enough to know that I don't know much about anything, but I know enough to know that when my intuition speaks, when that still small voice inside me says, and you can call it whatever you'd like to, when it speaks, I listen. And when I don't, that's when I get anxiety. Personally, because my fear was so large and rampant that I lived in it. I lived in it constantly. I wrapped myself in it and used it as a little protection weapon blankie thing. And the only thing it did was hurt me. The only thing it did was put me back. And so when I needed some assistance when I had my third child, I actually my ex and I got into a very large argument, bad argument, to the point where before the conversation happened, because we knew it would got to be an argument, I put cameras up. So there's live footage of this. I have not been able to bring myself to watch it yet.
Well, no, yeah, you don't want to look at the past.
I don't think I ever will now, but
Yeah.
that experience, my therapist put me in mental health IOP. I was in that, Lucy, stop. I was in the outpatient, version of a psych ward while I had my baby, my third. I had my baby, and the next day I was on a call, not because they made me, but because I knew I needed to be there. I knew I needed the structure at that point in my life. And the past 2 years has been, well, she's almost 3 now, has been a reclaiming of all my parts.
Okay. Well, how did you do that? Like, how did you reclaim? How did you overcome that anxiety?
So I'm going to start this off by saying that I powerfully and passionately believe that every human's path is their own and incredibly personal and private. So what I share, please know that that is only meant to be a flame to help you find your way. And that's something that I'm personally very passionate about as a coach to be, whenever all of that happens the way the universe decides that it's supposed to happen, is that I believe that healing comes through play. I believe that when you, as a human, as an adult, can connect to a child in the ABA world, because I've got ABA training where you work with kids on the spectrum, you cannot expect to place a demand on a child on the spectrum before you pair with them. I'm not passionate about this or anything, but so when you're dealing with a child, you must connect with the child, right? And so when you're dealing with your inner child, you need to connect with that child. Because, yes, Toby, you're shaking your head at me. I have been battling to set my inner child free for 2 years, and I thought I'd done it. I did. And then Toby and I had a very...
I'm going to jump in here right now because it's very important. And you know what? I normally wouldn't, but I'm going to write on this for Learning for All. When you talk about your inner child work, what did I have to do with you to break through, to get you to tap into your inner child, to break free of the anxiety that your inner child was feeling personally?
How honest do I have to be?
I want 100% real, raw truth, because that's how we do it. And that is the most learning for everybody. And you can come out here. You're a warrior. You got through it. We got through it together. I assisted you with that. You know what? This is a powerful lesson for everybody to acquire right now, because they do not understand the depth of which they have to go and get that inner child. So could you please take this opportunity to explain to them, what work did you and I do extensive and intensively?
I love you, woman.
I love you too.
So
this is you releasing it. This is the next step. This is the true healing, is when you can speak your truth about it.
Choosing my words carefully, ma'am.
There we go. Good girl. I love you. This is the work, and people don't realize it.
And
absolutely. Well, I think there's a stigma. There's a
soon come to the point where you don't have to think about your words. Yeah. They'll just flow, and it'll be right, and people will understand.
Yes, because you're
so I'm going to say this because you're not speaking to me right there. You might be speaking to someone in the audience, my darling friend, but I have no problem with the words flowing. I have a problem with picking the right ones.
Okay, I want you to explain back to topic. I asked you a question. What is it that intensively you had to do with me personally to unleash your inner child from the anxiety it was feeling?
I'm trying to decide how far back to go. That's why I'm struggling, just so you know.
Well,
are we speaking about the moment
from the point that I literally forcibly.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right.
So we were having a conversation, and I've purged so many of my excuses, but there are excuses that are stuck inside of us that we don't even know are excuses. I believed so many of these, and I can't remember the exact specific thing that it was that broke that camel's back, Toby. I was very much in it. So if you do remember, please feel free to share. I have no problem with that. But I had to face very, very much head on with, I'm going to say it was a battle. It was a war, because my ego did not want to give up the ghost. My ego wanted to remain in control, and I had to face the lies, because that's what they are. They're lies that I was telling myself to keep myself small, because I didn't believe truly deep in my inner child self that I was worth.
Andi, unmute yourself. Let's give her a round of applause for this one. Good job. That is good job. You see that? That's acknowledgement right there. I'm proud of you. Good work. Take the next couple of minutes to tell them how raw I had to annihilate your ego.
It was harsh. I love tough love. I always have, and I never got enough of it as a kid. And I always wanted it. I've longed for it. I've sought for it my whole life, and I found it. I mean, I have found it in people and connections, but until I met Toby, I didn't have anybody brave enough to go all the way down and not give me a pat on the head and not tell me that it's going to be okay. And she did tell me it was going to be okay many times. But when it comes to this isn't pretty, people.
And you know what? I'm grateful for Andi, the fellow Earth Angel, because this is how I've connected. It's through Anka. I've met Andi, and I'm forever grateful. You see, great connections, and you work with somebody and you make an impact. Well, that impact ripples out and great things come back to you, because look at the connection now that we have.
And something I feel I really need to say. There's a buzzword within the woo-woo community, and also it's starting to make it to the business world. And the word is authenticity. And I have a bit of a personal vendetta with the fact that this word is becoming what it is, because I love it so much. But authenticity without vulnerability and brutal honesty is not authenticity, people. It's a performance. If you're not being brutally honest with yourself, looking in the mirror, if you do not have people around you who are calling you, excuse my French, but on your shit, you are not being authentic. You're just putting on another face. I know. I've done it many times. I spent 8.5 years in theater. I can put on a performance for you. But my inner child doesn't like that.
No.
And so I've stopped.
I agree with you, Anka. That word is being thrown around like water at a pool party.
And I think, and something powerful, I at the beginning of all of this, when it was still so ugly, somebody said to me, in a moment where I didn't know how to be anymore, because I was so tied up with all the filters and all the protection mechanisms, and I was like, I don't want to be like this anymore. And so she said to me, then just be normal. And she didn't mean normal. She meant present. She meant just be present. Be here now. Whatever you're at, however you are, however you come, however you sound, whatever you look like, whatever you smell like, just be here now with us right now. And recognize that if you're struggling with anxiety, I'm going to say this and you don't need to be. There's no reason for it anymore.
No.
There's not. And I'm not saying that to be flippant. Please, please, from somebody who has sat in the darkness with the sharpest of sharp hatred for my own self. My mind was like a cave full of broken glass. I've drawn it. I can show you a picture. And it was because I placed those sharp things there.
Yep.
Can I speak on something?
Please.
Openly? When
Yes.
Anka and I started working together, she was at the point where her anxiety was so bad that she would self-mutilate, not even realizing, by scratching. That's how automatic the brain pattern was. Now, since you and I have been working together, have you ever felt like that since?
Like what? Like the
When
glass?
I saw the scratches.
No, ma'am. After you decided that wasn't needed, no more.
All right. Yes. Okay. Good. That's good. Okay. Andy, you guys have a chat. I'm here to jump in if you need or whatever. Ask me.
Oh, there's
You
chat
guys-
happening. I'm not reading. Should I be reading? Can I not read, please? Because I'm focused.
Read what? We
No,
don't
you're
read anything.
fine.
We don't
Okay.
script
She means
here.
for
No,
us.
I just see stuff happening and I'm just focusing.
No, we don't script. And I'm really appreciative that you come out here and you to open your heart like that for the world, because that's what you're doing.
Well, I'm not
You're
ashamed.
you're letting them see, that, you know what? We all need the help, no matter who we are.
Well, and I think it's all a spectrum, right? And I've experienced a lot of tower moments, another buzzword, another dark nights of the soul, whatever you want to call them. I've walked through a lot of those. There's a book, and I'm not going to remember it now, am I? Nope, I'm not. It's an allegory. I love stories. I'm a total storyteller. I love reading my kids' books. Yes, that was the right way around. Excuse me. But I love to tell stories, and this book is an allegory about the walk. So it's kind of like the Pilgrim's Progress, but it's a lot simpler to read. And it's about walking up this mountain all the way to the top. And the things we don't realize the things we miss. So you're walking all the way to the top, right? And it's a beautiful story. But throughout the process, the main character hits different snafus and different things and has to deal with different experiences. And I love it so much because it gives us such a beautiful just picture of the spiritual walk, of walking all the way through this stuff, and you're going around the mountain. And sometimes, in my experience, you have to, as a Greek mythology story, you have to push this boulder up the mountain. You don't know why you're pushing the boulder up the mountain, but you get to the end of it and all of a sudden you're stronger, And so specifically, taking it back down to basics just a little bit, as far as actual tips go, well, when I was a child, and I'm going to send this to my mother and she's going to laugh, my mom's answer for everything was take deep breaths and drink some water. Now, throughout my spiritual journey, many, many times I've gone, are you kidding me? Because that's honestly that's it. The biggest advice I can give you, three tips. Drink water, hydrate your body. You need it in you. I promise you, just find a way. Number 2, breathe. Breathe as deep as you can, as often as you can, wherever and whenever you can. And if people think you're crazy, that's okay. Let them. Okay? And the third tip is stretch. Stretch your body out. Whether you do it with massaging, I love somatic dance, somatic movement. I have not really found somebody online to send you to say, here, do it this way, because I haven't found that. And I can't show you because I don't know, it's very private for me. but move, put music on, something with a beat, put on, I love Pichka, which is, it's one of my favorite personal music to move to, because every single word that woman says reverberates truth. There's no junk, there's no BS, there's no, I'm gonna shake my, if you're gonna shake it, you're gonna shake it for a reason, sister. I love it. But move, go lay in the bath, get water, get your body immersed in the warm water, and stretch slowly. Don't hurt yourself. Don't push yourself. Don't listen to your body. And as you're breathing and as you're moving, your body, your soul is going to tell you where to go. And if you come up against a wall, find somebody who's going to push you through it or over it.
Yep. I've also I was dealing with anxiety and depression at the same time.
Whew.
And it freaking sucks, man. I'll tell you right now, it sucks. You're anxious that somebody's going to invade your space. I've got 7 kids, and I was afraid somebody would invade my space. Anyway,
that ship sailed.
Yeah. But I was like in bed. I would sleep and sleep and sleep, and I don't care if I slept good at night or not. I would sleep. That's the depression part. My anxiety, I would go out the door, and I have a Great Dane. I made her my emotional support dog, for the simple fact that when she feels my heart rate rise, she lays next to me no matter what I'm doing. I'm standing there in Walmart, don't matter. She'll lay next to me and look up like, Mama, come on. My anxiety was so bad, I couldn't go to concerts. I loved concerts. Loved concerts when I was younger. Loved them. But my trauma and my fear had made my anxiety so bad that I couldn't even go up my front door without sweating. And, just I developed tics when I was getting aggravated. And I'd yell at my kids,
I would love to just pop in, if you don't mind. If you are listening to this and you are a mother and you find yourself incredibly angry with your children and you are feeling like a piece of doo-doo about it, please take a few deep breaths and recognize that anger is one of the first shows, especially with mothers, of high anxiety.
That's
because
exactly
if you are,
what I was getting to.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
But I realized, yes, we got 3 extra children at once. My stepdaughter and her 2 little sisters. We got 3 little girls. I gave birth to 7 children. The only girl that I gave birth to was an adult and out of the house. 3 little girls. If anybody has girls and boys, you know the difference. But that shot my anxiety. Woo! Plus, they had behavioral issues. They had abandonment issues. They had, normal stuff a foster child would have. Breathe. I had to remind myself every day. Breathe.
And I hope that you are recognizing, because I can't help myself, I hope that you are recognizing that in that process, you taught all of those girls how to deal with a stressful situation with your example.
I didn't know it at the time. I just automatically did it. I didn't know that I was teaching them. But as the time went by, of course, I'd yell, I cuss, I did that, and I was like, whoa. I still do every now and then, honestly.
See, and it's okay to be human. We're not supposed to be automatons.
Right.
We're not supposed to have one emotion and one emotion only. Right. We are given the spectrum in order to enjoy it. Okay, so it's okay to have the emotion.
Okay. Let Andi finish, and then you can take the floor.
They fight over the color of the sky. Those two little girls, fight over the color of the sky. I can't separate them. We have 2 bedrooms. I have boys and girls. Well, 3 bedrooms, including mine, but breathe. Woo-saw. It seriously works. I would lock myself in the bathroom, and if somebody knock, we only have 1 bathroom. And if somebody knock, I'd say, if you don't leave me alone, I would yell this. If you don't leave me the F alone, I'm going to effing snap. They left me alone for 5 minutes. That's all I needed. Because they know when I start snapping and I get really, really, really quiet and I get the look in my eye, nobody's going to be happy. So, mommy dealing with her anxiety over them having issues behaviorally and everything, it clears you. It does. It clears you. When you have to deal with children with anxiety and behavioral issues and possibly on the spectrum, it makes you clear your own mind. Because what's the alternative? I'm not giving my kids up. Not one of them. I have to do it myself. Yeah, doctors can give you pills, but does it really help? Do you want to take them for the rest of your life? Because I don't. I was on them. I've weaned off of them. I don't need them. I have a lot of responsibilities. Do I have a job? No. Do I care if I have a job? No. My husband, love his heart, he's a veteran and he has a job. So he takes care of the bills and stuff. But my job is to make sure these little children grow up to be adults that can handle stressful situations. Nobody else is going to teach them that. The whole world's going to throw anxiety and throw stress, throw fear, throw everything at them. I throw it at them too, but I teach them how to deal with it. Even the ones I gave birth to, I throw stress at them all the time. They're like, Mom! I'm like, what? My adult children, my teenage children, even the little kids, the 4 that's in elementary school. Yep, you're damn straight. Excuse my language. I do throw stress at my children. But I also throw coping skills. I also throw breathing techniques. I also throw, well, if you do this now and you do this later, you break it up. Breathe. Like homework, things they're behind on. Breathe. It's okay. Go drink some water. Go to the bathroom. You can take a semi-long shower. Not too awful long because other kids have to, 9 people in the house. But you can decompress yourself. If you want left alone in your bedroom, tell me. Tell me, hey, Mom, can I lock my bedroom door and tell the other boys or the other girls not to come in for about 30 minutes or so? I need some alone time. Yes, that's great coping skills. Go for it. And if you want to talk, I can either come in there with you or we can go in my room. I had to teach myself this. My mom didn't. My mom was bipolar my whole teenage years and was misdiagnosed as depression. I don't want my kids to teach themselves this. That's too hard. But yeah, that's my take on anxiety. Just breathe. Like Anka said, just if you need 5 minutes, if you need to cuss somebody out so you can have 5 minutes, just do it. Then they'll realize how badly your anxiety is stressing you out. They'll realize, oh, okay, yeah, she needs 5 minutes.
I've been there. I know what you guys are talking about. Anka, you wanted to talk about something though, so I really want you to get back out here and say what you had to say.
Thank you. No,
And
you know how
I'm
much
going to jump in and give you guys a little blaster of a level of intensity of anxiety that maybe you guys haven't felt yet.
No, thank you. You can send whatever you want, but I am a conduit, not a container.
No, I don't mean stress you out. I mean share an experience of mine with anxiety.
Oh, yes, please. I like it when you share stories.
So go ahead and you can.
Oh, me first? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, I was having so much fun listening to Andy. I have no idea. You're gonna
I
have to
have
help me
fun
out.
listening to the both of you because you're
It's
both very
awesome.
wise women with experience. And what I really love about you ladies is you find the lessons, you apply the learning, and you transmute it into wisdom because that's the only way to do it. And I watch you ladies do it. And that's why I love assisting you with it in any shape, way, or form that I can because, I learn from you guys too because everybody has a unique experience. So the
Well, and I
more
think,
people I interact with, the more I learn. Go
and
ahead.
as long as we are open, right? Like that's where the question lies. Like, are we open? Um, oh, so when I when I just started going live, I had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, right? And it was in the middle of COVID, and it was complete insanity. And I sent a friend a video of me sitting on the toilet with a glass of red wine and talked, like sending her a video. And then I yelled at my children, if you walk in this door, I'm walking out the front one. I have this on camera. So I mean, it's, and that's what I wanted to say. One of my biggest, I don't say side quests in all of this has been recognizing that when I set healthy boundaries with my children, I am teaching them in the best way possible how to have healthy boundaries themselves. Because my kids have had to learn in this whole adventure. I have work now, like real big girl work, and so I've got to figure out how to do that with kids, with my kids around me, because I don't want to just chase them away. I'm not okay with that. But because of my journey with anxiety, they had to learn that when I say I need 10 minutes, if you don't give me 10 minutes, those 10 minutes are going to turn into 40. And if you don't give me the 40, those 40 minutes are going to turn into more. Now, that's no longer true now because I am no longer, I am now awake to myself. I know me. And so I don't need 40 minutes ever anymore. But for me to say to them, hi, I need this time. And if they don't respect it, then not I'm going to scream and yell, but the consequences is XYZ. Not because I can't control my own emotions, but because I respect myself enough and I respect them enough to hold them to a standard that I know they're capable of. Because that helps everybody. It helps them in school. And it forces their little minds to grow now in this beautiful time, this time where now, and you say you frustrate your kids, well done. Congratulations. Because if they're placed in situations of difficulty, I promise my kids I will never cause you unnecessary pain. But there's going to be situations where pain is necessary. If it's the dentist or the consequences of your own choices, I'm not going to remove pain from you that is necessary. But if you're honest with me, I'll walk with you. I'll walk right alongside you and face your consequences I'll support you. But I can't change the fact that life has pain. And if I'm going to try and keep them from it now, I am living proof of what happens then. Then I'm 37, 38 years old and have to dive into my inner child deep and apologize. Because my anxiety got really bad, really, really bad, because I kept choosing everybody else instead of me. I kept choosing everybody else's needs. And here's the thing, when you're a mom, that's a hard line to find. But when you find it, I promise you, you will never lose it again.
Very well said.
Thank you.
Very well said. Okay, well, I guess now I'll share with a little bit of my anxiety experience of learning for life. Well,
I never thought I would clap for somebody saying I'm sharing about anxiety. So this is awesome that we get to
this is also
celebrate.
going to be the last time you jump in while I'm about to tell my story. Okay, Anka? All right. Just so we know, because I'm not getting thrown aside if I start sharing this, because this is stuff I haven't shared with the world. Okay. I was in a state of survival. Yes, everybody knows all my life, which induces fight, flight, or freeze all your life. Well, the amount of adrenaline that was running through my body since a child. I had organs removed because of it. My gallbladder taken out, my appendix taken out. I've had serious health problems with cortisol levels and adrenaline eating at my organs since I was a teenager. To the point where they wanted to have me on 6 milligrams of Ativan a day and 25 milligrams of Seroquel a night to keep me calm, because I could feel everything, but I couldn't understand anything, being an empath. And that made me very scared, because I couldn't trust myself. I couldn't trust anybody around me. I couldn't trust what anybody was telling me, because what they were telling me versus what their energy was telling me was a totally different story. So that induced huge fear in me. I didn't know if I was crazy. I didn't know if I could connect with anybody. I didn't know if I could trust myself or anybody else. The heightened cortisol levels, hey, I had too much cerebral fluid around my brain that was crushing my brain from it. So what did I have to do to get right with my anxiety? I had to figure out, what was I scared of? Was I scared of something that was factual in my right now immediate? Or was there a fear somewhere in me that was running on repeat, that was automatically producing these anxiety effects in my body? And what does that feel like? Hey, you feel like you can't breathe. You want to throw up. You're sweating. The whole room is spinning. There's no connection to anything during those states of anxiety. Which, what does that do? It just produces more. So I had to figure out, what was I fearful about? What was it that was on repeat that kept inducing these, like what I felt like, life-threatening anxiety attacks? Well, I realized that I was so stuck in my past and beating myself up from my past, and so scared of repeating that in the future, that just that cycle of that fear was killing me from anxiety. I didn't want to go in public. I was so full of shame, blame, guilt, denial, and fear buckled onto that it crippled me from life. I could no longer participate with life. Well, guys, I encourage you, if you're feeling anxiety, you better figure out what it is that is doing it, that's making you fearful. What's making you scared? Because that's the only thing that's triggering your anxiety. I had to figure it out. Well, there was a lot of things that were stored in me that I had a reason to be fearful, and a reason for my body to use those stored emotions as quick reflections to make sure I avoided it in my future. But those are not relevant to the now as a human being. So I encourage you guys all, dive deep and figure out what you're fearful about. We've all, three of us here, have had major situations with anxiety that we have overcome. Right now, do I get anxious? Never. I am a bring it on kind of gal, and I don't back off for nothing. Not even $1 million. So, but I was that girl that was crippled by life and scared to even allow the wind to breathe on me, because I couldn't understand the feeling. Well, I'm not that girl anymore, and neither of any one of us that have lived that situation. So I encourage anybody that's dealing with anxiety, listen, get in tune with you. You don't just have these things happen to you. There's a cause which leads to the effect. Well, right now, the cause of that effect is something in your subconscious brain that you're fearful of. You're either living in the past or you're living in the future. You are definitely not living in the now, because right now, no matter how much you suffer anxiety, if you sit with us right now, in this moment, you feel nothing at all. And with that, I'm going to allow the ladies to wrap it up on this note. I would love to just extend love to everybody for their time and their energy that they spent with us. It is a gift for us to be able to service the world like this with awareness and consciousness, but most of all, love. I'll hand it off to the ladies to wrap up, and then I will close her up before we close off the live in the next 15 minutes.
Thank you, Toby. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've not heard that story. Wow.
Nobody has. There are some things that only can be spoken about when it's due time.
True. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out. Thank everybody for taking the time to watch our talk on anxiety. And I just want everyone to know that you can reach out to any of us, if you feel you can't handle the anxiety yourself. It's hard. It's gonna be hard until you grasp the reason behind it. Till you breathe, hydrate, look at things that make you nervous and find out why they make you nervous, why they make you feel anxiety, why your heart feels like it's getting ready to come up through your throat and out of your mouth. Why? If you find that reason and you need help figuring it out, Tobi, Anka, me, we can help you. We can help you smash anxiety because we've been through a lot. I've been through more than what I just said. That's just the most recent. But you can reach out to us. Our links are in the description for our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can reach us. Type my name in Google, Andrea Ford, and it'll pop up all of my stuff. It's all public. Click on one of them. You can FaceTime me. I don't care. You can have a Snapchat. You can, whatever the Snapchat thing is called, where you look at each other. I don't care. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of Tobi. Get a hold of Anka. We can help you through this. You don't have to do it alone. You do have to think about it. You do have to dig deep in yourself. Because up here, this is why you're going insane. This is why you got to think here. Like Anka was showing me, you got to think here. That's what I was going to. You got to quit thinking here. You got to dig here to see why you feel in certain ways, to see what started that. But you have to think with your heart. There's no other way. No other way that I found. You have to think with your heart. Your brain is for bodily functions, as Tobi has told me before. Your brain is just there to keep you breathing, keep your blood flowing, keep, all the bodily functions. It tells what to do, like my fingers moving. That's what your brain's for. What is it, Tobi? Emotions are man-made?
Yes, emotions are man-made. They actually are.
Yeah.
You know what? On that topic, how did you like that chapter?
Oh my gosh. I can relate to that. Like completely. It makes sense. Completely. Yeah. And I was just thinking, I was like, I'd read about another couple sentences. But yeah, her book, Tobi's book, yes. Turning hell into heaven. You have to. It's on, what is it, Lulu?
Actually, my original copy of that is globally distributed everywhere. It's just the revised editions with the self-reflection exercises in them that are at lulu.com.
Yeah. You want your
Lulu.com.
eyes open to stuff, you need Tobi's her book, Turning Hell into Heaven.
There you go. And it
Yes.
is up there. Look, books at lulu.com, bookstore today. Just punch in Tobi Staples.
Yes.
That's all you got to do. But you really enjoyed it, though?
I absolutely did. Absolutely did.
You know,
I don't think enjoyed is a good word. I think that the amount of challenge that comes is enjoyable once the challenge is over. But let's respect that time of. It's amazing. It's amazing how the information finds its place.
Well, you know what? It's funny that because she told me that Andi had told me that she couldn't put the book down. That's what she told me. She said that she couldn't believe it, but she couldn't put the book down. And it's funny because somebody else came to see me and that I had sent my book to, and they told me the same thing. They said, Tobi, I don't know what it is, but I started reading that book and I couldn't put it down. I was like, yeah, I couldn't put my life down either.
Well, you lived it, so
Okay, so I believe I have a feel about the big part of why, because I read your last book first, and I'm not all the way through it. Not because I couldn't put it down, but because I've reread it now 4 times from the beginning to halfway.
Okay, so you're reading The Spiritual Guide to Source, the all-knowing resource?
Yes.
And could you please tell me what you think about that book?
No, I can't tell you what I think about that book. There's only 9 minutes left of the live.
No. Well, I want to know.
Okay.
I
was kidding. I was
that latest book.
So, okay, I grew up in the church. I received a lot of information, but there's a lot of information that I very purposefully did not receive. How I feel about that is another conversation. But go read the book if you grew up in the church and you'd like to understand the things that didn't make sense. Go read Tobi's book. It'll make sense.
Somebody else told me that my mother actually, when she wrote it, she had told me, thank you for making it so clear.
So simple.
Yeah.
Like, so simple. Like, I opened the book up and I read the first 3 pages and I didn't realize I was at the end of 3 pages. And I was like, wait a minute, whoa. Just whoa. Because
I need that one.
When information...
Hey, what did you say, Andi?
I said I need that one then.
I'll send it to you. Edgar, where are you at though? Okay, guys, do you know that I'm still waiting for that first copy of that book? I have been in transit for like a month and it still hasn't arrived.
It's because it's supposed to come to me and you're supposed to sign it, and I'm gonna just buy a copy.
This is the proof copy so that it can go into global distribution.
Oh wow! I wonder why. Interesting.
It's okay. We know the system we're under. We're about to unshackle everybody from it. Woo!
I mean, we're cool. No, we're cool. It's all cool
to put out there for advertising and marketing. That's why, probably.
I love it. I love it. So, okay. So my two things right at the end before we finish it all off, and I want you give you a nice, good, solid chunk, Tobi, because I know how beautiful your life. The final parts of Tobi's live are my favorite because she goes boom, boom. Okay. Anyway, so 2 things. First of all, I do want to say this. If you are on medication, I am currently on medication. I am in the process of weaning off of it because I'm done. It's been good for me and I no longer need it. When I needed it, it probably saved my life. So I just want to say that utilizing medication is not bad, but please listen to yourself. Listen to your doctors, but first and foremost, listen to yourself. So that's very important. Second of all, this is my favorite part at the end. I have a secret, it's a wonderful superpower. I can laugh at anything. And that means that I'm a wizard because I can turn a boggart into, dust. Because if you can laugh about it, If you can laugh, my friends, you can be free. So if you can't get away from the anxiety because you're so stuck in it, because you're not really that stuck, I promise, come talk to us. But if you can laugh, find something to laugh about, and it'll be better. It might not be perfect. You'll need to go do the work. You can't get around it. But if you can laugh, then you're not just a muggle either.
I never was.
Well, ladies, I gotta thank you for an awesome episode here with us. Woo! And for the viewers, I'm so grateful that you guys were able to join us. And for everybody catching it on replay, we love you. And you know what? I am just seeing now that there is a comment. Oh, there's Renee. Well, hello, Renee. Happy to see you out here. We love you. Sorry, the comment came out so late. I just saw it now as I was wrapping up. You know, that's amazing. I am so grateful to see everybody that came out and see you two lovely ladies here with me tonight. And I'm really grateful about all of the personal shares that we do here. And we come out real, raw, truthful, but loving. And I know what it's like to be on meds. I was there myself, but my goal is to assist her to get off them completely. And we've made huge headway for that. And I personally had to come on. I'm on nothing. So let that be known to the world. I don't take any meds for nothing. No heart after my heart was damaged. No pills for any organ that no matter what. Tobi walks around in the purest potential of her being. I don't need meds. That's synthetic. I work on frequency first. I'm a mastered healer. I don't need meds. And I encourage everybody, if you are on meds and you're sick and tired of feeling the way you're feeling, well, then we can help you. Because if you do not really want the change for yourself, you're just going to add to the suffering by these self-mutilation by thought alone, shaming and blaming yourself about the situation, and then it induces everything and it heightens everything instead of just calling somebody who can relate. So I encourage you guys all, don't sit in it until you're next to death to fix it. And I had to learn that many times too. And I encourage you guys all, don't wait. You guys matter. You're loved all the time, infinitely, by the universe, all the time. And it supports your every decision that you make. I really hope and pray that you choose wisely for yourself and do not embody anxiety as if it's a piece of your self-identity. It is an effect of something that is being caused from within, and it stems from fear. Before I close this up, I want to put back up on the screen this lovely reminder of what fear is. Fear is nothing but the anticipation of pain, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional. Don't fear anything. You have the power to manipulate energy and create consciously whatever state that you want for yourself. If you need help doing it, you can reach out to any one of us. You can reach out to Alpha E-Mind Mastery, Empowering Emotional Mastery. You can shoot an email. You can go get my books. Should you need support through reading my books, reach out. Okay? And we love you all. And I will let these ladies close up with a quick goodbye, but we are coming off. So we love you. And we thank you for being here. Ladies, if you want to say goodnight to them, we're going to wrap up.
Bye-bye. Thank you for being here, and choose yourself, please.
Yes, choose yourself first. Because if
Go drink your water.
if you can't choose yourself, how are you going to choose somebody else? How are you going to love somebody else if you don't love yourself? Bye, guys.
Excellent.
I love you.
Love you
Have a
all.
good
Thanks
one.
for being with us. Have a great night. Love
Bye.
you.